Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. I missed out a bit of very important news. In my last video it came in hours after I just recorded, so I thought I'd add it into this video and it's quite exciting stuff. Today we're talking about the progress on the ATR from Milviz as well as Thrustmaster's secret flight yoke. We'll be speculating about that in the later part of the video. If you're new around here, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, but now let's get right into it. So first off, starting off with the ATR 72-600 news. Milviz have previewed a few cockpit shots on their Facebook page and on threshold.net. In today's video I am sourcing the news from this website, so I've put the link in the description. Now the twin engine turboprop is used primarily for short-haul passenger operations. Of course ATR is a French manufacturer. The initial variant was the -100 and we're now at the current -600. And Milviz screenshots show a mixed bag. Now they don't provide any external screenshots because I don't think it's in a state where they can show us yet, but they do provide us some cockpit screenshots that show us how these systems are going. Now of course this is very early days, so don't take it as this being what the aircraft will look like when it's released. Just bear it in mind that this aircraft is still a massive work in progress. The cockpit does look nice, the systems in place do look sufficient so far. Of course there's plenty of discrepancies between this version and the real version because this is nowhere near done. But it's nice to see some of the custom systems in place. They're not fully finished as you can see, but they are functional. And by the looks of it, quite in depth as well. You can see the aircraft has captured the ILS glide slope and localizer here. Although I would like to point out that apparently the landing gear isn't down according to the warning message there. Notice as well we do have an FPS counter in the top right corner and it shows a pretty stable aircraft. Of course it's probably in very early days, so it will more than likely change once we get it released. But averaging around 45 to 60 FPS seems to be pretty good for a high fidelity, by the looks of it, airliner. Now there is issues, and what stand out to me is really the texturing in the cockpit. Of course still very early days, but looking at the master warning and master caution lights, you can see around there's a high level of pixelation. But the layer of material above the master warning switch, well, it looks very fuzzy, so I hope they do sort that out. Aside from that, really focusing on the systems, you can see, once again, as I said, we've got the ILS established and it's landing at this airport here, although I'm not too sure where it is. We seem to have a pretty in-depth system so far. You can also see that the backup primary flight display is working as intended as well, so it all seems very well connected. And this is really the most difficult part of making a Microsoft Flight Simulator or flight sim aircraft in general. It's the systems. It's not necessarily the modelling, it's the systems, what lays behind the screen. So if they can get this right, chances are they'll get the whole aircraft right. Milviz do produce very good aircraft. I think they produced the Corsair for Microsoft Flight Simulator and worked with other teams such as India Foxteco to produce some aircraft. I would describe them as mid-range fidelity, not bad, but not study level either, like with the likes of PMDG, but it does mean their products are genuinely quite affordable. The link is in the description. I'm quite excited for it. What do you guys think down below? I would like to say my favourite thing as well would be the reflection on the heads-up display. That's something that looks really good. Reflections, of course, do make Microsoft Flight Simulator feel a lot more realistic, so the more the merrier. Anyway, let's move on to our next bit of news. So before we get onto the Thrustmaster news, which is on their Facebook page, another aircraft has been released, and it's an interesting one. As you probably have released the bidet. It's not bidet, that's something you have in hotel bathrooms, but it's, goodness me, Bede BD-5J. That is a bit of a tongue twister there. It's BEDE for the company name, and then BD-5J. I guess that's how you pronounced it, not my first one. Anyway, let's keep the ball rolling here. They've released it for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a jet version of the propeller-powered aircraft. is certainly interesting. Now, this aircraft in real life does exist, although I wouldn't say it serves much of a real function. It's the world's smallest manned jet aircraft according to Guinness World Records, and has been for over 25 years. You'll only really see this at air shows, sponsored by the likes of Red Bull, you know how it is, or in this case Bud Light. You may also recognise it from an old James Bond movie. If there's any Bond fans in the comments, be sure to tell me. You can buy it from Sim Market for €13.80. Although in my opinion, I will admit the cockpit doesn't look overly great, but I guess as this is an old aircraft, maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but it does look quite pixelated in my opinion. I do like the Pepsi livery in the old Pepsi kind of logo, and colour scheme, it looks very nice. I'm sure many people will have some sort of use to this aircraft, although it's not really for me. Anyway, let's get on to the very exciting news. Thrustmaster, rather secretly, have released a bit of a statement regarding their roadmap for 2021 and 2022. Now, we've still got a bit of time to go before they do give us more information about it, but it's something to get excited for anyway. Thrustmaster at the moment have made the TCA Airbus setup for Microsoft Flight Simulator as their first major new product for any flight sim, for a while actually, but we're yet to have a yoke. Now, look down on that post. On the 5th bullet point, it says new flying yoke system for Xbox consoles and PC, and I really do hope this is the Boeing TCA setup. Of course, I'm just speculating at this point, but if it is that, my goodness, I am buying it. Now, Thrustmaster don't necessarily produce the best quality equipment, but they are affordable and generally to a pretty good quality. If you want a realistic, close to real life experience, then you do want to look elsewhere with the likes of the yoke. But if Thrustmaster can make an affordable Boeing yoke or a Cessna yoke of the sorts that can work with Xbox consoles and PC, then I am buying it. Take my money straight away. What do you guys think? Notice there's also a new flying joystick bundle for PC. I don't imagine that'll be anything overly special, probably just a bundle with the Hotaz setup or Warthog setup or whatever, but doesn't sound like a new product, although it could be. Tell me your thoughts on this video down below, I'd love to hear it. If you have enjoyed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, it does mean a lot. I hope you've enjoyed. I'd like to say a massive thank you to my first class channel members. If you'd like to become a channel member for exclusive perks such as a shout out, which I'll do in a second, and of course photo and status updates of my life beyond YouTube, then be sure to click that blue join button. It's £2.99 a month, really not much money to support the channel and get something in return. Anyway, from me today, that is all. Last thing I want to say is that I'm running a charity skydive. I'll be jumping out of a plane early next year, and while I'm doing it, I'm raising money for 2 fantastic charities. The Just Giving link is in the description, and your support would be much appreciated. Please be generous and check out the 2 charities there, or just go on the page. It really does mean a lot. Anyway, from me today, that is all. See you soon. Bye bye.